Again, your bullfrog coming at you. And again coming at you from US 1. Thanks to gas prices going up, thanks to a couple of hurricanes, I gotta go the same old route. But again, setting out a bit later than usual, thanks to a Ravens game I had to watch. We beat the Bengals, I believe 20-0. We shut them out. Yep. That's how we do things back east. Most of the time, anyway. And of course, this being US 1, it compels me to cross Calico Dam. I'm compelled to cross this. Nice water, though. Yep. The power of US 1 compels me. Off Calico Dam and passing through Calico itself. I would assume this settlement came before the dam. Hope I'm right. Gonna try and make Oxford, PA, and have another look at the Octoraro secondary. Last time we were there was a foggy February day. Couldn't see too much. A lot better right now, even despite leaving late. In fact, the ferry cross over Octoraro Creek, that line's namesake. And as I've said before, the previous US 1 used to bear off to the right there and go through Rising Sun, Maryland, before we routed this way in the late 1950s. But both routes meet up again, and I'll show you where. Not a bad day out there. Rather comfortable. Temps in lower 70s or maybe upper 60s. So take advantage of it. And low humidity too. You can tell by the blue sky. And up here on the right, just before the PA line, is where the original Route 1 would have come out. Actually, just after the PA line. Right up there, the original Route 1 emerges, which I will turn into and try to show you some of. Even though I already have in a day odyssey, I'll do it for you again. About to hang a wide right curve here and head south on the original US 1. Because up here is a crossing of the secondary, as in Octoraro. I showed it to you before, but I'll show it to you again. I thought I'd get out for a better look, but I first showed you this in the video in December of 2015, exploring the Octoraro secondary. That's looking south on it, of course grown over. It's abandoned directly behind me, about a mile to the north. I'm looking north on it. Begins getting used at the Hers potato chip plant up in Nottingham, PA, about a mile or two up the track, up the now grown over track. And facing north, an old one again, just made a U-turn. Of course, the road now goes that way to meet the current US 1, but at one time that old concrete pavement was the road. Back on the modern day US 1, which we use as far as Nottingham. Part of old US 1 used to be visible through there. Oh, it still is. I showed you that in my day odyssey, I believe 2016, December. Yep, the original US 1. Now we got this. Oh, and there's our exit. We'll pick up the old road from there. Ooh. Nice driver there, courteous, signaled to me. And he would take the old one as far as Oxford. And now we're in Nottingham. And up at the light, the original US 1, which will turn left on to proceed north towards Oxford. Would have come out of the right there, but the Hearst plant now cuts it in two. But at least the Hearst plant uses the railroad to ship their potato chips. So, buy Hearst and support the railroad. Old road over there, but I'm staying on the old road. Old. Confused? Interesting about a lot of these roads here back east. You have an old road, and the current route. Confused? And should there be a fourth generation, you have an old road. I guess our country was settled from east to west. That's how things turned out. Up here at the light, the old road emerges out of the right. And now both old and old become one. Become old. Oh no. Red light. Gotta watch this stuff. It's tough explaining history. Then all of a sudden you get a red light. We made it. Entering Oxford. The one-time eastern terminus of the Lancaster, Oxford, and Southern Railway. We should have passed beneath a bridge up here. Of course, bridge long taken out, cut filled in. Been around here someplace, from left to right, and then joined the main line over there, the secondary. Would have been a main line back then, although it's a secondary now. And with a dual gauge track, they both use the same station that we're about to see. In downtown Oxford, made tourist friendly, like every other town. That should have stayed classic. Up there, the previous Route 1, the original route, the old road, I should say, took a sudden right, then a sudden left. I'll be taking the right, but not the sudden left. If there's the right, Route 1 picks up where those cars are turning, right there. That's old Route 1 going that way. But we're going down here to the station. I hope I get there. It's only half a block away. Right over there somewhere. We made it. Yep, now a visitor center for the town. And once again, the former Oxford station. Now the visitor center and Borough Hall. Whatever. But at least it still exists. It's a shame it's not used as a station anymore though, but it still exists. And here be the secondary coming out of Philadelphia to the north. Although our compass direction is actually east-northeast. Due north is more to the left. We got the one-time relief route for the northeast corridor. Although only used as such very briefly. The station's down on the northwest side of the tracks. But at one time the station sat over here, on the southeast side of the track. Now a parking lot. Here's what the station used to look like that sat over there. And as mentioned, two railroads used that station. Both the Pennsylvania Railroad and the Lancaster, Oxford, and Southern Yep, the LO&S used it by means of a third rail. That's how they got here. In fact, here's how it used to look back then, with that third rail. I've shown you these photos before, but I'll show you some more. Maybe before I depart Oxford, I should pick up a few shirts. Never mind, that one didn't go over very well. And that's south on the secondary, back towards Maryland. Actual compass direction, west-southwest. The secondary continues on south there. I'm going to try and find a few spots in this town that I haven't showed you yet, where the track runs. Maybe pick up a side street or something and see if I can parallel the track for a bit. First time passing through this hood. Now that name I recognize out of one of my train books. I think LO&S entered the main line from this street or something, from the area of this street down that way somewhere. But that name rings a bell. Facing the sun, but there's the secondary again. What was the main line at one time. And I stopped at the crossing and looking north on it. Looking east-northeast to be exact. But at one time there was a dual gauge line for both railroads to use. And looking to the south on the line, actually west-southwest compass direction. But at one time all the industry was located here, and both lines served it. There are a bunch of warehouses down there, one of which still exists on the left. I may have a shot of that too someplace from the classic days. When the LO&S existed, it occupied the space on the left. Now it's all grassied over. And about a block down, the line descended to below the level of this line and passed beneath this line under a bridge, then headed west towards Quarryville and Lancaster. And of course was terminus at Peach Bottom. But this was LO&S territory at one time. And over there is where the narrow gauge ran. And behind me, the narrow gauge line would have joined this line. Would have cut across that grass plot, come over here, and then join these rails. And there are actually three rails here. One common rail, one narrow gauge rail, and one standard gauge rail. Interesting how they did things back then. I saw in the photo of the station, the classic photo, there were three rails. Interesting, this line now serves a potato chip plant, but apparently also some industry here in Oxford that they serve. Hence those cars being parked down there. I thought today would be same old, but I found some new stuff. Commerce Street. Let's see what's down here. Get closer to the business part of the railroad. I think that's a warehouse or grain elevator or something, or a little bit of both. But it's been here for a couple hundred years. And there are the cars I showed you just now. Freight station and freight. But But someplace here is where the narrow gauge dipped below the standard gauge line and went west towards Quarryville and Peach Bottom. But of course that cut's been filled in and the bridge taken out. And the structure from another direction, opposite direction, along with the freight. And a caboose for an old scenic railway. Brandywine. Old track they're no longer used. And the track that is, looking south. Now departing Oxford on the same horse that brought us in. Old US 1. Took a side road to see one more crossing of this line. And one more spot on the secondary. I'm showing you for the first time. Looking back towards Oxford. And apparently a business here that might even be served. A lumber yard. Here the track looks like it's been freshly ballasted. Nice bright ballast there. But Nottingham, it didn't look that bright. Don't know how often they use it. Probably once a month. Whenever they feel like it. I'm looking south on the line towards the Hearst plant. And up there, old US 1, which better get back onto. But I'm on the old one I was telling you about. Because I believe there's a crossing of the line up here somewhere. I might want to get it. And this is the third generation back of US 1. Third generation. But about to hang a left to get to the line. And there it is. How about one more look? And now back in Nottingham again. And over here, deja vu for sure this time. I showed you this back in December of 2015. The secondary southbound. Another 3/4 of a mile would be the Hearst plant. And this line's last hurrah. After that, the tracks end. As you saw, no tracks in Maryland. Or some paved over rails, whatever. And looking to the north from where we came. And apparently they did some reballasting on the entire line. Even some piles left. Did some ballasting on what's left of the line. I guess for them to keep up the line this far south, must be a good potato chip business going. Okay, all done. Now to pick my way out of Nottingham. I think I'll depart town southeast on this road. Can't recall if I've been this way before. I probably have, but if I have, it's been a while. I'll see if I can recall any points of interest, should there be any. And apparently, just crossed back into Maryland. Now that was fast. Gotta remember this road. And now approaching a road I'm well familiar with. This road. And I know just where I'll end up. Here. Got CSX down there. But I got a red light here, and I can't get to it. Railfanning gone wrong. but I will try to write it. All gone. The crossing. But I'm too late. It's already out of sight. Out of sight. But now to make Railfanning go right. Hopefully go right anyway. There are some folks gathered on the platform, on the southbound platform. So there could be something southbound coming along pretty soon. I guess your frog will play the waiting game, which he plays a lot when he's by the track. To the west, still some light in the sky. But people are gathering up. There's nothing better show up. Distant horn, that CSX again, at the crossing we just crossed, where I missed the train. Can you hear it? I could have stayed at CSX, caught a freight, and then come here for the southbound Amtrak. I tried to make it go right, but it went wrong again. Over there someplace to the northwest. Right now it's passing Joe Flacco's alma mater, the University of Delaware. I'm turning the camera off. I'm starting to feel sick. Nothing southbound yet, but here's something north with LEDs. All right. Nighttime trains. Even my HO layout, I had trains that lit up. My coaches had lights inside that stayed the same brightness regardless of train speed. Yep, I had a constant brightness circuit on my passenger cars. Just like Amtrak. And way in the distance, I believe I see something coming southbound. A southbound light twinkling way down there. Like a star. Could that be the train that's going to stop and pick up those cool folks? Now what might that be? Tricky keeping the camera on it. As slow as that sucker's approaching, it's got to be preparing for a station stop. I think I'll wait till it gets here. It's stopping. I hear the bells. And those folks' wait is finally over. Quite a gathering there. What a gang. It just stopped. It's departing already? Picked up all those folks that fast? Or just jockeying for a position? I mean, if all those folks got on that train that quick, so be it. Either that or they'll be shuffled to the last car of the train. Uh-oh. They're going to get on the last car of the train. That could be ominous. Yeah, I wonder what he's doing. Finally came to a full stop. Well, it's first going to the next to last car on the train. Whatever. A Northeast Regional, heading southwest. All those lucky folks that get to ride it. Oh. Where's the loco? There it is. Just heard the doors slam shut. Could be about to depart. As we will after it does. Okay, Amtrak, get the lead out. There's the bell again. I'll take an ice cream. All right, step on it. Long train, about 8 coaches. You could have a lady railfan with you. See, girls like trains too. If yours doesn't, I guess you have to find another one. And now that I got what I came for, I guess I hit the road for back and make a night odyssey out of it. Kinda, sorta. And so, now time to get out of Dodge. I mean Delaware. And return to Maryland. Yep, back here again. As I keep saying, still got miles to go though. And I'll do those miles on this road, on 95. Again. Almost 8:30 right now. We left the house about 4:30. So you do the math. Now about to pass the exit for my home away from home. Quarryville. I'm going home now, but not to that one. You only pay a toll going north. It's like $8. And free going this way. So I go this way. I'm cheap. When this road opened in 1963, it was just $1 each way. Now it's what, 400% more? That's a lot of percent. Must be inflation. And again, our Susquehanna crossing. Little cropped pronunciation there. Of course you can't see it down there because it's dark. Yeah. Brilliant deduction, bullfrog. Port deposit. Trying to get port deposit at distance there. Not sure if I got it. And the exit for where I grew up. Not Churchville, Aberdeen. You can barely read it though, due to the light. Yep. Spent my childhood years in Aberdeen. When I get past the Ripken Stadium, there were the lights. And the rest area by night light. You can give you free Wi-Fi now. When I was a kid, they didn't. Wonder why. I get a lot of northbound traffic. But I know, compared to I-5, this road's a ghost town. Right? Gotta watch out though. A couple idiot bikers up there, cutting people off. Not worth wasting chip space on them. Actually, bikers aren't allowed on this road. At the beginning of the ramps, there's a sign saying, motor-driven cycles prohibited. So no bikers allowed. So they're breaking the law. Alright. Outlaw bikers. In other words, normal bikers. In case you're a biker watching this, don't mean to offend you. All I'm doing is making observations. And again, when I turn 1 year old, White Marsh. As I keep saying and wearing out, I'm a former White Martian. And proud of it. Now departing I-95, our version of I-5, here back east. And with a bit of time lapse, we're back in the hood. Yeah, that lamppost makes it look almost exorcist-like, doesn't it? If he was standing beneath it, it'd be perfect. Alright. I thought today would be deja vu, but showed you some new sights. And some deja vu ones as well. As of this day, still have no internet here at the house. Hopefully I will by October. I still got to use the library. So feel free to comment and I will answer ASAP.